Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys? I am so happy to be here with you today. I am bringing you a really awesome bundle this week. It is the Christmas Scottie Bundle, and it is adorable. I hope that you will enjoy it as much as I have enjoyed making the projects. It is located on page 34 of your mini catalog. If you need a demonstrator and you need a catalog, I would love to be your demonstrator. If you choose me, let me know that you need a catalog. I'll be happy to get that to you. Also, we are going to work on this super cute card. Look at that little tail doing its job there. Precious, right? Gotta love it. And you guys will enjoy this card, I think. So let's go ahead and get started. We are using the Christmas Scottie Bundle, like I stated, but also I am pairing the Stylish Shapes dies with it because I absolutely love it. We're going to use those for the squares for our puppy. So let me show you which one. The white squares were cut out with this die here. And then down here, the Merry Woof-mas was cut out with that die. So we'll be using those. So I'm gonna move those to the side. I'll be showing you how to do that. I'm actually not cutting any puppies out with the punch today, but the punch and the stamp set are well worth having. So I hope that you will enjoy purchasing those. And let's go ahead and get started. Just trying to clean up a little bit of my messes that I have everywhere. And we're going to start with a piece of basic white cardstock. And the cardstock is 5.5 by 8.5, which is a pretty typical size. I scored it at 4 1/4, and this is our basic white. So I'm going to go ahead and join the points together and burnish that. So it's going to open this way. I wanted it to be white cord because I'm using the black on the front to tie in with our puppies. So I went ahead and gave it a black cover. So this piece is 5.5 by 4 1/4 of basic black cardstock. And this is going to be attached directly onto our piece, but not yet. So I'm going to put the white to the side. We're going to do all of our things to this piece here, and then we will attach it down. So the next piece that I have is a piece of 2.5 by 5.5, and this is a really cute, whimsical piece of designer series paper that is in the Celebrate Everything host pack. And it is a pack that you can get for free by hosting a get-together or just a book party where you pass your book around and people place orders, or we can do it as a class. So if you're interested in having a party and earning this free paper, I would love to do that for you. So just give me a contact. My contact information is in the description. So I added some wet adhesive to the back of this, and I'm just going to go ahead and attach it onto this layer. Now, what I love about the wet adhesive is it gives me that little bit of wiggle room. It gives me that little bit of extra, and I did cut it slightly bigger in length because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't short by a hair. I'd rather have it be too long than too short, and so I have this tiny little hair piece to cut off. See how tiny it is? Almost can't see it, right? But I'd rather have that to trim off than be short on this side. So there is that piece. Now we're going to attach our ribbon to the back. And the way that I do that is I use some seal adhesive. And I'm going to go ahead and put some back here. And I'm going to start with my ribbon piece. I'm going to hold on to that with that seal, and then I'm going to bring it around like this, and I'm going to put some seal on this side, and we will go ahead and stick that ribbon to it. So there's our first piece. Let's add another piece. We can use the same seal adhesive. So we're gonna go ahead and attach that on right here. And then I like to have a little separation between them. And then we're gonna go ahead and put down that piece. So there are my 2 ribbon stripes. Whoops, I guess I didn't push that one down good enough. Let's try that again. I didn't give it a press onto there. All right. So there is our ribbon attached to the front. So now that we have this part done, we can go ahead and attach it to the card. So you can do seal adhesive. I really like using the wet adhesive. To me, it is very strong, and I think it bonds really well. So I'm gonna avoid the ribbon for right now, but I will put some adhesive over the top. First, I am just working, making sure that I get all my edges, and then I'm gonna put some adhesive on the ribbon pieces. All right, so let's go ahead and grab our card that we folded in half. And we're gonna go ahead and flip this piece over and attach it to the top and make sure that it is all the way at the top so that it looks like a black card and that it doesn't have the white on the inside. All right, so I'm just gonna press down where my ribbon is. All right, so that's what we have so far. Let's go ahead and put our piece inside. So on the inside, I have a little 1/2" piece by 5.5 of the same print. And I wanted to just add a little bit of whimsy to the inside to mimic what was on the outside of the card. And so I'm just going to use my wet adhesive and just do circles or spirals or whatever you want to call them down the length of my DSP. And then I will grab that. We're going to attach it to the bottom here. We'll leave a little border of white. And then if anything is sticking out, which there should be a little something, because like I said, I always leave a little extra when I am cutting my paper to be layered on top to make sure that nothing is short. Okay, so that is the inside of our card. And so far, that's what we have for the outside. So let's see, what should we work on first? I think that we will go ahead and stamp our pups. So I have this strip of basic white, it's just a scrap, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab a scrap of card, paper. Here's a little scrap. It's just some paper that I've used. We're gonna go ahead and put that down, and we're gonna start with our first pup here. We're gonna ink him up in Memento. It's our Tuxedo Black ink. We're going to get him nice and black. I might need to pull out a different one because it might just need to be re-inked. Let's see. Let's see how we do. I think he's pretty good. Just make sure that he has black all over him and that he is a happy puppy. That's the most important thing, right? So we're gonna start, we only want his head. So we don't need all of him, but most of him is gonna fit in here. I'm just gonna bring it down some because I want there to be some white space around my square. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp him down onto my piece. Just like that. So there he is. He's looking pretty cute. And I missed a little tiny bit of his nose, but I'm going to use my black marker there and fill that in so that he is complete. And let's go ahead and clean him. All right, let's move on to the next puppy. So the next puppy is this one that's standing up. So we're gonna go ahead and stamp him next onto this little piece. And again, not all of him is going to show, so we just want to make sure that he's inked up really good at the top. And we'll go ahead and stamp him down. I'm going to give him some room, so there's room for the squares, right? And I kind of want him looking in this direction like this. So we're going to go ahead and put him down. Right. I'm actually gonna put him, I think I'm gonna put him upright, and I will change my square to fit him. So I'm gonna go ahead and place him down. So there is that black pup. Okay, so on to the next one. We're gonna clean him. So the next one, we are just wanting his tail. We want the back end of him to show. So I'm gonna stamp this one coming from this direction, okay? And we're gonna get this back end of him. So let's go ahead and ink him up. He's so precious, this puppy. And make sure his tail gets extra ink and extra love. All right. Onward. I'm stamping him upside down. And I'm going to put him right there. All right, so there's that pup. Let's clean him up. So we have our 3 pups. Let's go ahead and stamp our Merry Woof-mas. So I want to explain to you, there is no stamp that says Merry Woof-mas. I've made it up. Are you shocked? Oh, I'm silly. So, for this, there's a stamp that says Woof that's in this set. And there's a stamp that says Merry Christmas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the Merry Christmas, but I'm going to use a piece of tape. So I'm grabbing that now from this roll. And here it is. And we're going to cover everything. Well, we're going to leave the Merry and the Muss, and we're going to cover the rest up with this piece of tape, because we do not want ink to get on it. We just want the pink to say Merry Muss. All right. You guys following with me so far? All right. And this is our polished pink, so I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. And the tape is going to get the ink on it, but we're going to pull that off. I'll show you in a second. So there is what it looks like. I'm going to pull this tape off like so. And I'm actually going to turn the ink in on itself and flip that over. So when I deposit it in my trash can, I don't get ink on my fingers. All right. And we're discarding it. We don't need it anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and close the polished pink ink pad. And we're going to stamp this in the center here of this piece of, it's just a scrap piece of basic white cardstock. So it says Merry Muss. Okay. And let's go ahead and clean our stamp. And then we're going to bring in the stamp that says Woof. And it actually has a little exclamation point. So we're going to use Pool Party. It's the other color that I chose to pull out of the paper. And I got those colors out of the paper. So this is Pool Party and this is Polished Pink. And this ribbon matches pretty well, I think. So now we're going to go ahead and grab the stamp that says Woof. There it is. Okay. I have 2 stamps on this block, but you can see the Woof there. And so we're just going to ink that up. I'm going to make sure it has plenty of Pool Party ink, and I'm going to stamp it right here. I'm going to leave a little gap because I want to put this little dash in between there. And I also want the Woof to be even and line up kind of how the AS sticks out right there, I want the W and a little part of the O to stick out on this end. So I'm just, because these are see-through stamps, you can see what you're doing. So there is my woof, okay? And we will clean it. And then I am going to grab my polished pink Stampin' Right marker. So this is part of our in colors from last year, the 2021 to 2023 in colors, and I am going to make myself a little hyphen there, or dash, whatever you want to call that symbol. And I'm going to try and round the edges because this set seems to be a little bit rounded. And so once it dries, it should look similar to my ink there. And I have made the little hyphen there, okay, with that pen. So now we're going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, the mini, because I love the mini. And we're going to use that, and we're going to die cut out this word Merry Woof-mas with this banner die from the Stylish Shapes. So let me get that one, and then we're also going to cut out our doggies. So we'll start with our base. Our base plate is plate number 1. You can see right there. Then we have 2 plates number 2. So this is the first one. We're going to go ahead and put it in. I'm actually going to put it this way. And then I have another plate number 2. So I'm going to make a sandwich. And then I'm going to line up my die so that it is exactly where I want it. Then I'm going to put the next plate on top and press it down to hold. And then I'm going to go ahead and slide it through my machine just by turning the hand crank. And this is going to turn my mat a little bit because I'll try and move it so that you guys can see. How about like this? And I'll go ahead and crank that through. Okay. And when I pull that out and lift my die off and pull my paper, there is our beautiful banner that we're going to be using. So I'm going to set that over here by our card, and we have to do it again. Only this time we're going to do the puppy. We have to do it 3 more times. So we're going to start with this puppy, and we're going to figure out how much of him we want to see, and that looks pretty good to me. Super cute. Maybe a little bit over this way. Yeah, I like him. He's fabulous. All right. So now that I know where I want him, I'm going to go ahead and put my plate over the top, make my little sandwich. And again, I'm going to turn so you guys can see. And I'm going to hand crank. There it goes. Let's pull this little guy out. So there's our first one. Put him over here. Let's do our next one. This time, this little guy is kind of standing up, right? Want to get his little feet in there. And maybe like that. I like that. So remember I told you that I was going to do this one a little bit different. I was going to angle it a little. So we'll put it in like that. And I have my sandwich. I'm going to start sliding my plates in and turn my hand crank and get it going. Come on, get in there, guys. There it goes. We'll turn. Sorry for my mat moving. I don't have it attached in any way properly to my desk, just sitting there. All right, so there's our next puppy. And let's do our last puppy. So the last one, we want the tail. And so we're going to make sure that there's enough room for me to do the little whir symbols there. I want to make sure his belly shows. So right about there, I think, will be perfect. All right. And we will put our little sandwich together. I like to have it not perfectly stacked, kind of staggered. And let's do this one more time. Put our little sandwich in there and start the hand cranking. And again, my mat will move all over my desk. All right, and here is our last puppy. And then this is this portion. All right, so let me cut away this extra piece, and this will go into the trash, and I will save this in my scraps. So when I say that I have basic white scraps, I actually do. I'm going to put my dies back. Don't forget, this Stylish Shapes dies is really versatile. I love it. I use it all the time. I think it's an amazing set of dies. So check it out. In my videos, you'll see me using it constantly. This looks like this guy moved around a little bit. There we go. You'll see me using this. I use a lot of shapes, not just this one. But the shape dies are near and dear to my heart. So I do use them. All right, so let's make sure that my mat is back in place, that you guys can see everything. Let's bring our card back in. All right, so for this particular piece, we're going to start assembling. Now, I've already stamped the bows, and I stamped them separate, and I went ahead and fussy cut them out. So right here, that's this bow. This little present on his back are these two stamps right here. And then this bow is this necklace, and then this bow right here. And so that's what I used for that. And I went ahead and stamped them so that you didn't have to sit here and watch me do everything. And there they are. So we are going to attach those last once we have layered our little puppies. So this particular die, let me see what size it actually die cuts it to. Right about 1.5 inches. Okay, square. So I wanted to back it in black, so I did 1 5/8 inch square for my black, and then for my pool party background, I did 1 3/4 inches square. So each one graduates up 1/8 of an inch. And so I'm going to pair these together like so. And I'm going to glue them together. And then we will attach everything together for this card. So I'm going to grab my little silicone mat, my wet adhesive, because it is my adhesive of choice. And I'm going to start first with the 3 pups. And I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on the back of all of them. So I'm avoiding those little dots because I don't want the adhesive to seep up through those. And I'm going to grab a black 1 5/8 inch square that I have die cut or cut out, not die cut, sorry, with my paper trimmer. And then we will attach our puppies to those squares. And then we will attach these squares to our pool party squares. All right, so I like the wiggle room the wet glue gives me. It lets me really evenly attach these guys. I'm gonna flip them over again and do this one more time. This time I'm just gonna put adhesive on the back of their little mat. But I'm gonna do all 3 at the same time. And now we will start gluing them on their 1 3/4 inch mats. And like I said, the wet glue is awesome because you can wiggle it into place. I love this card. I think it's so cute. I love that it has the 3 puppies that are part of the stamp set on here. I love that you have a puppy tail on there. On the one, I chose to do the puppy tail. So I'm going to give it some little like motion marks. Like that, makes it look like the tail is moving. This one is going to get the little package. And so I stamped that with the same 2 colors, polished pink and Pool Party that I used on the sentiment. And we're gonna do the bow on the one puppy. And this one is, whoops, the last puppy. And I'm gonna grab my tweezers because I do not want to get glue on my fingers, and it's very possible with these small pieces. So let's go ahead and start gluing. So the puppy that's looking in this direction gets this bow. So right like that. And you can stamp it directly on. You don't have to die cut it out. You could stamp it directly on. I decided after the fact, but this one in particular, you would have to cut this one out because it's a lighter color and it would not show over the top of this black puppy. So for this particular bow right here, I would die cut it out or use the punch and cut it out or hand cut it. Same with the present. You could stamp it first, but like I said, when I designed this card, I decided I wanted these things on the puppies after. So that's why I went with this method, but you could always stamp it directly on there. But when you attach them, it's also fail-proof, right? You won't mess it up. Okay, so here is where our Merry Woof-mas is going. This puppy is going here, this one is going here, and this one's going in the middle. So I'm gonna get them approximately where they're going to live on my card. I kind of set the stage. All right, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pop them up with dimensionals. So I'm going to use minis because I'm using a bunch. And so the minis work for me. You can use whatever kind you want, but I'm using 5 minis on each card. And I'm gonna go ahead and attach them on as I go. So I will pull these backs off and then adhere my little puppy. That way I know that he goes exactly where I want him to, just like that. All right. We'll do the middle one last. Let's do this guy next. So 5 more. 1. Gotta love this take your pick tool. And we're gonna stick this little puppy. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. I love him. All right, here's the last pup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure that they're down good so that this take your pick tool can pull the backs off. All right, here's our final one. Oh my gosh, he's so cute with his little present and his wagging tail. All right, so there he is. Now comes our Merry Woof-mas. And again, I'm going to use minis because I'm using plenty. So I like using the minis when I use a lot of dimensionals. So there's that. I'm going to put those in the corners because to me that adds a lot of stability. And then I'm going to put 2 in the middle of the regular size. So 1 there and 1 there. All right, let's pull the backs off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on a tiny piece. I know you guys don't have to use as many as me, but it makes me feel like I've used the right amount. My cards stay together real good. I just love it. All right, so let's go ahead and attach this banner down just like that. Merry Woof-mas. And the final step to any good project is the bling. So let's grab the rhinestone basic jewels. I've used quite a few of them. Let's see how many come in here. 140, so plenty of them. We're going to put a large one here on the bow because I just think it looks so pretty. Put a smaller one on this bow here. And let's add a small one onto our banner right here next to the woof because it's so cute. All right, that will draw your eye to the Woof-mas. I just think it's a precious sentiment. It's a great Christmas card to make for any animal lover. They will adore it. And I hope that you have enjoyed the process of watching me put together this super cute card with the Scottie, Christmas Scottie Punch and the Scottie Dog. The Scottie Dog Punch and the Christmas Scottie stamp set. Don't forget, I've also used the stitched stylish shapes. They are stitched and punched. They're perfect. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe. You do not have to purchase from me to subscribe. And also, you can help my small business out, even if you don't want to purchase anything, by sharing my video, giving me a thumbs up, and commenting. I greatly appreciate everybody who does that. Thanks for being here. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!